Quinn exiting, there are no black women coaches currently in the WNBA. And everybody trying to stomp on each other. It's reckless for Matt to dismiss it as a cash grab. They're Welcome to the No Bull Podcast, or welcome back to the No Bull Podcast. I am your host, Brianna Bull, and I'm bringing you everything basketball. Because if you know bull, you know ball. Let's get into it. All right, this is episode 52. Actually, let me make sure everything is set up good to go here on my end. It's always something for me. But yeah, so I'm happy to be here. Episode 52 is kind of crazy to say 52. Like, can y'all believe it's been 52 episodes? Because I can't. I started off humble, and honestly, I do this just because I love basketball so much, and yeah, it taught me how to love. So I made a channel about it. But yeah, I'm really happy to see everyone here. Let's get right into it. Okay, so first thing up on the docket is the court report, which is just another way of me saying NBA latest updates. I wanted to start off talking about some history that was made here on Christmas Day. Happy holidays to everyone. And that was Joker, Nikola Jokic, and I think Christmas Day is what propelled him to the top of that MVP list. He delivered a legendary performance, 56 points, 16 rebounds, and 15 assists. It was the first time in NBA history that anyone's ever even had at least 55, 15, and 15, and he tipped it over with that 16th rebound. So, I mean, it was an all-time best, and as much as we do not like Joker's defense, we cannot deny what he does offensively. Nobody else is really doing what he does offensively. And this was his 15th triple-double of the season, 200th triple-double of his career and playoff combined. So, I mean, I know we're not even at All-Star break yet, which is coming up soon, but can you deny that number one? What do y'all think? Is Joker your number one, or is it still not enough? Do you need defense for Joker to be your number one? Welcome to the chat. Make sure you drop a like, drop your take. I'm just grateful that y'all are here. Next up on the topic I wanted to discuss was how the Thunder, well, we'll get to that, but we've definitely seen the shift in the standings taking place. And I believe we were talking earlier, it was me on the Format podcast, and we were talking about how the Thunder could have possibly beat the Warriors record when they went that amazing, like, was it 73-6? No, 73-9. Is that what they went to have, like, the best regular season record ever? We were talking like, oh yeah, OKC can do it. And that's when they only had one loss versus the Portland Trailblazers in that nail biter overtime. But now we see them being taken down here recently, and it has tanked their standing overall, and even the projection of them finishing with a very impressive record. I mean, with 4 losses, do you think they can maintain or sustain for the rest of the season and possibly beat that Warriors record? I don't know. I personally don't think so, because what I'll talk about in this next segment about OKC and the Spurs matchup. Right now, this season has shown us matchups matter. I mean, matchups have always mattered, but the OKC and the Spurs are a prime example of how matchups really, really do matter. So I also wanted to talk about some before we get into the All-Star, which is the main chunk of this segment, is the All-Star because things have changed. The format has changed, the voting has changed, and this might be how the NBA is introducing us. It's like a soft launch to that global expansion that Adam Silver has been talking so much about since like the beginning of his stint. Okay. And I'm not too excited about it. I have an episode where I've talked about Adam and Silver and his greed. So be sure to check that out. But yeah, we'll dive a little deeper into that. But first, I wanted to talk about some some spiciness with little Jose Alvarado. I mean, is there an NBA season that has gone by in these past couple years without Jose getting into it? I just wanted to say they announced he did get suspended. He will be Jose Alvarado. Let me back up. Jose Alvarado plays for the New Orleans Pelicans, and they were playing against the Phoenix Sun, and him and Mark Williams got into a little squabble, not like a little squabble, like a huge squabble where punches were thrown and landed. And we know Jose Alvarado is a point guard and Mark Williams is a center. And we know Jose Alvarado is one of the shortest guys in the league. I'm sorry. But Jose's gonna face 2-game suspension and Mark Williams will face 1. But I wanted to just show you the trend of Jose Alvarado. I looked up some of his past grievances. And last year, because I remember this vividly, last year, this is where Jimmy Butler and that it was like a huge fight. And this was February 2024, and Alvarado was suspended for 3 games in his role in a different on-court altercation. Him and another center, Thomas Bryant, were both penalized for leaving the bench and engaging in the fight. So I don't know what's up with Jose. I mean, I guess I don't know. He might. I picture Jose like I don't even know how to explain it. I've played with little guys before, and Jose is definitely a little guy that I've seen just want to fight, want to fight, want to fight. But we won't talk, we'll not touch base too much on that. But I just want to say, like, Alvarado's also been suspended before. He had a little dust up with the Rockets in 2025 earlier this season in the preseason. He got into it as well. So I'm not surprised that Jose Alvarado is in the middle of this squabble. I mean, we've seen some things heating up. I don't feel like this is going to be the last fight in the NBA, but there have been some tensions rising. But the competition is looking great, right? It's been a good season, yes? Drop a like. Drop a like if you feel like this has been a really good NBA season so far, like entertainment-wise and just real basketball. They're giving us real basketball. But honestly, what I think is going to be a huge determination, what's the word? I don't even know the word for it, about this season is the All-Star game. Because we all remember, if you were there, unfortunately I was, watching the NBA All-Star game, which was led by Steph Curry. Essentially, he came up with this brand new format where we were supposed to see the competition increase, and it was supposed to be a lot of fun, and it ended up being a huge flop. I mean, it was so bad that I think we saw more halftime gibberish with Kevin Hart and Shaq than we actually saw basketball, because they realized, okay, this format sucks. We don't have nothing to do, so we got to fill it in. I mean, it was concerts and comedy and just a whole bunch of BS and fluff. And LeBron didn't even play. Last minute, he didn't suit up. So this year for the All-Star game, it has, I don't know if we have high expectations or low expectations for it. But since this season has been so good and they're soft launching this global expansion, I do feel like we are due a really good All-Star game. We haven't had one in a very long time. So let's talk about the new format of the 2026 NBA All-Star game. And this is going to be the meat of this segment, and then we'll move on. So everything you need to know. First of all, again, the format has completely changed. So starting in 2026, I'm getting a call. Okay, starting in 2026, the NBA will feature 3 teams. No more 2 East Coast versus West Coast. There's going to be 2 made up of US players. And then there's going to be 1 team that is an international team. So, and out of those 3 teams, only 2 are going to advance. So it's going to be competing there. It's going to be a round robin of 12-minute games with the top 2 advancing. So if you go to the NBA, which I went to the NBA page, and I always go to the fact page because it helps me like understand a little bit more like what the heck is going on. But I went to the fact page, and so the game takes place Sunday, February 15th, 2026, and it'll be 3 total nights of events, etc. But the actual All-Star game is February 15th, right? It will start on the 13th and on the 15th. And it will be in Los Angeles this year. This is the 75th All-Star game. So I don't know if 75 is like, it's a huge deal. It's like one of those numbers, 75. Um, and so the format, again, it'll be 2 teams of US players, 1 team of international, and they'll be known as the world team. And the round robin, each of the 3 teams will have a minimum of 8 players. So in the round robin tournament, it'll be team A will play team B in game 1, and then the winning team from game 1 will take on team C in game 2. And then the losing team of game 1 will meet the winning team, team C, in game 3. And then after game 3, the top 2 teams by record will advance to face each other in the championship game, which is game 4. And if all 3 teams at the end of this little round robin battle have a record of 1-1, then the tiebreaker will be the point differential in each team's 2 round robin games. What do we think? Okay, let me keep going. Let me keep going. Well, because some of us, we don't like change. Some of us like change. Some of us don't like change. I don't know. I don't. It depends. For me, it depends. I got to see it happen. I got to see the execution. But in the past, there's been 24 NBA All Stars, 12 from each conference that have been selected, right? But this year, it's a little bit different. It won't be a selection of 16 US players and 8 international players. Wait, hold on. I'm misreading it. It says this year the All-Stars will be selected without regard to position, and the process for assigning players to the 2 US teams will be determined at a later date. I don't know. Now, when it comes to voting, the biggest difference now is, remember, we used to pick based on positions. Well, now you could just select anything. Like, we can literally have an all-star team with all centers on it. It's not restricted to like 2 per position or 1 per position. You get 5 choices for East, 5 choices for West, and it doesn't matter. You could pick 5 point guards, 5 centers. It does not matter. It's totally free game. So I mean, I'm excited, but I'm also nervous. But I'm excited, but I'm nervous to see what's about to happen here. Hopefully, whatever does happen, it's just gonna be better basketball overall. Okay. And I will this week later on, I'll be going live and I'll pick my selections in real time. I did that for the WNBA All-Star. That was really fun. And everyone made it through that I picked. So I was excited for that. But and then so I'll do the same thing for the NBA. But in the meantime, I do want to show you all the current stats right now that are how many people have voted so far and where they at. And this is like the most recent up to date that I could find. Let me just make sure y'all can still hear me. Okay, good. You can still hear me. Good. Okay. So no surprise here. Luka Doncic is number 1 and Nikola is number 2. And this is just on the West Coast. I'm actually pretty surprised that Denny is number 7 and LeBron is number 9. Like, are y'all surprised about where LeBron is on this list? Or you're not really surprised with his popularity? And again, these are people that are voting these superstars into the list. And then look at number 20, Kawhi Leonard still managed to get his name up there despite missing, I think so far, Kawhi has missed 10 games in this season. And they've played almost 30, just under 30 games so far. And Kawhi has missed 10 of those. I'm excited to see Steven Kessel in there. I think that's really dope. I mean, this isn't set in stone, but hold on, like where is Steven Castle is in there, but uh, why am I his name is slipping through my mind. Oh my gosh, he's left-handed. He plays on his the Spurs. I have so much going on in my mind, but that's no excuse, bro. What is wrong with me? He plays on the team with the Spurs. He is an OG, bro. Left-handed. Oh my gosh, he's not on this list. Or am I missing him? No, he's not. De'Aaron Fox. I'm like, bro, what is his name? De'Aaron Fox isn't even on this list, bro. I don't know how I feel about that. Austin Reeves, top 10. Is there anybody missing on the West Coast that you think should be on this list? Right now, for me, is De'Aaron Fox. De'Aaron Fox absolutely should be on this list, in my opinion. I might have to. I don't know. This Kawhi Leonard at number 20 is kind of insane to me. But anyway, I digress. Then on the East, I'm looking at the East list. This is my first time reaction. Like I saw the list, but I just didn't read it yet. So this is my first time reaction. And by the way, right now we're just talking about the NBA All-Star voting and pretty much like who has been the fans have been voting. Make sure you go cast your vote now. It's available, it's open. The All-Star game starts February 15th. I did not see when the deadline was for you to vote, but I just wanted to show you where the fans are looking so far. And I'm not feeling it. Let's go to the East Coast. East Coast, we have Giannis at number 1. I'm not surprised. Now, what I and this is what it really excites me because if you know me, you know how I am a Tyrese Maxey fan. So for him to be number 2 just goes to show like he's really the people's champ. The people love him. When I was in Philly, they loved they didn't really cheer for nobody else besides that was it. It was pretty much Tyrese Maxey. Then you got Jalen Brunson number 3 and Kate Cunningham at number 4. I'm liking all of this. But what I did see in the comments were Jaylen Brown being lower than Tyrese Maxey, despite the Boston Celtics having a better record than the Sixers. And that does matter because we all know how great of games Jaylen Brown has been playing this past month or the past couple of months. And he's been a key reason why the Celtics are doing so good. But hey, this is just the fans. This is the fans' input. I like to see Michael Porter Jr. at number 10. And I honestly, if Michael Porter Jr. wasn't on Brooklyn, would he even be considered an all-star? I'm just saying, like if he was still on the Nuggets, I think he would not be on this list right now. I like to see it. Now, there's one person on the East Coast that is really frustrating me that I don't see. So my 2 right now that I don't see on the East Coast, it should absolutely be Scotty Barnes. I don't understand why Scotty Barnes is not on that list right now. That is insane to me. Scotty Barnes absolutely should be on the list. He can crank out triple doubles, bro. He doesn't do it as often, but that guy is a machine. He could play the 5 and he could play the 1. Like he's built different. Like his wingspan is over 7 feet. It's insane. Like there's no way. And the Raptors are top 5 right now on the East Coast. Why is Scotty Barnes being overlooked here? Fans, what are we doing? What are we doing? And then on the West Coast, De'Aaron Fox. I'm not feeling how neither one of those guys are on this list, but it's early still. We never know. And also, it's not just based on fans' votes. It's 50% the fans, and I think it's 40% NBA players vote, and then 20% some other basketball random league votes or the media votes or something like that. So everything that's calculated decides the actual stars that get chosen. So it won't just be about the fans. But I will say, what I absolutely will say though, I really with this introduction with the world team, I'm hoping we'll see some better defense because that's one thing we could give these international teams credit for. They never stop hustling. They truly love the game of basketball because money is not really an object. Like money matters to them, but you could just tell they hustle because they know they could be replaced. Whereas though in the NBA, as much as they know they can be replaced, these max contracts have gotten these guys too high up in the clouds. Jaron Jackson Jr., for example. So I'm just saying, like, I'm really excited. I'm excited from that aspect, but I'm not sure with this whole grand scheme of global expansion what that's going to look like. And why am I bringing this up? Because this All Star game is going to soft launch the global expansion where we will for the first time have this world team introducing this international component to the All-Star game, and then as we go, they're going to build it into the regular season. Next thing you know, we got international teams in the championship. Really think about it, y'all. Make sure y'all looking that up. It's definitely something to keep your eye on. Okay, so let us keep going. I'm checking the comments. I appreciate y'all commenting and tuning in for a little bit of time you have. Thanks for giving me your time. I really do appreciate you. Any last thoughts about the things we talked about regarding like how good Joker's been playing? Maybe at some point this week we'll talk about the MVP ladder. Won't be today. Anything regarding last thoughts about the Jose Alvarado short temper? That's kind of funny, but that's off court drama. Well, it's technically on court drama, but off court drama. And then the All Star game. And make sure you get your votes in for the All Star. Okay, I just want to make sure I'm good to go here. Okay, yeah, that looks fine. Man, I be going through it with the technicalities. I produce the show, I edit the show. I do everything for my show. So sometimes it goes, ugh. Okay. What's up, Dame? Welcome to the chat. Glad you're here. All right, let's move on to the next topic, which is going to be the Thunder versus the Spurs. So the matchups matter. Why the Spurs are dominating OKC. So obviously the NBA Cup, anything that had to do with the NBA Cup, whether it was the playoffs, the championship itself, did not count against the records of the regular season. So despite the Thunder losing to the Spurs in the NBA Cup, it did not count against their record. However, we are seeing a trend here because they played each other again for the Christmas game and they lost against the Spurs. It hasn't been pretty for them. Now, what I wanted to take time and do now is talk more. Hold on. There we go. I wanted to talk about the game and take a look at some of the highlights. Uh wait, hold on. Now, I am going live, so I understand that there might be, let me just exit out all of this stuff so it doesn't have too many skips. Bear with me. I wanted to show y'all some of the plays that I saw because I'm trying to dissect this from a fan perspective, from a coach perspective almost, and from a player perspective of why does OKC struggle? And when it comes down to it, it's matchups. Now, both teams opted into a switch everything basketball. They were switching everything. Oh, my computer is freezing up. Hold on. It's freezing up on my end. Is it freezing up on y'all? Hopefully not. Okay. Hopefully this works. It's freezing up, but I'm just going to keep going. What I noticed is both teams opted into switching everything. But what I noticed, OKC, it's as if the Spurs have taken OKC's formula and made it better, almost better. What I'm saying, they replicated it because what I'm seeing is they'll have moments of one-on-one basketball where they'll go straight downhill, but then when they get caught, they'll make an immediate pass for someone to knock the three down. I was like, wait a minute. It's kind of like Wemby, Chet Holmgren. Then you got Hartenstein, Luke Carnett. Then you got Steven Castle, J Dub. Similar, like they're like the same. And then you got like Lou Dort, and then maybe Julian Champagny, or is it no, it's Julian? Julian plays on the Spurs. So I'm like, or it's like, oh, wait a minute. This the Spurs genius because they literally took OKC does and the Spurs did, and I didn't even forget maybe argue Case and Wallace, Harrison Barnes, or maybe Case and Wallace and Kelly Johnson. Like it's just like it's crazy. So aside from maybe the ball, but with De'Aaron Fox, now the Spurs push the ball even more. Hold on, my computer is free. I really hope it's not frozen on mine. Okay, well, my stream went down for a little bit, but that's okay. I'm just gonna double check, make sure everything's good to go, and I just won't share the video because obviously there's too much bandwidth for that. So okay. At least it's looking decent. It's looking better. Okay. Well, we're back like we never left. So it's okay. I won't share the video because my screen definitely just froze and broke down. But what I was saying was how OKC and the Thunder, when I was watching the clips and watching the games, I was like, hold on. This matchup is undeniable. The way that it's like as if this team copied and pasted. This team, as in the Spurs. The San Antonio Spurs copied and pasted the OKC formula to a T, and they put in place very similar people that are executing and carrying out the same exact rhythm and flow that OKC is able to do. And when they match up, it's something just explodes in them. But then they turn around and lose to the Utah Jazz. And you're like, how? How, Sway? My answer to that is continuity. It took OKC a couple tries to make it all the way to the championship and win with the same unit that they had. Aside from adding on Alex Caruso and Isaiah Hartenstein, other than that, those guys have been together for a very, very long time. So like fast forward with this Spurs team, I think if they manage to keep all of these guys together, Harrison Barnes included, Keldon Johnson, possible player, 6 man of the year, keep all Dylan Harper, Steven Castle, bro, their one-on-one basketball is insane, but their ability to play make is crazier too. But they're still young and they're still making mistakes. But I'm seeing like the same exact thing, like when OKC was making young mistakes, it's going to be the same thing with the Spurs team. But because they're so young, I don't think they're going to have what it takes to survive playoffs, but they're darn sure gonna make it. If it's not gonna be next year, it's gonna be the year after, especially if their continuity is sustained. And we've seen this. What the Spurs organization, what excites me so much about them is like they already had they were systematically good. They've always been that. They just for a little bit didn't have like the right talent to match the intensity of the number one teams that what they were bringing. But now that they have both talent and they have skill and they have the system. It's only a matter of time before they are the champions. Just looking at how they're playing against OKC, and when you actually watch them, they're like the same exact team. It's insane. And with De'Aaron Fox pushing the ball the way he does, maybe Steven Castle not as much. He'll still push the ball. Dylan Harper, I see glimpses of him like in the push the ball, but they're gonna get most of their transition buckets from off the strength of De'Aaron Fox. So hopefully he can maintain his health and Wemby, and they can stay healthy. This team is gonna be nasty. Again, I don't see it happening this year because they're still so young. I mean, Steven Castle himself will have 6 turnovers in a game. He's still young. It's his second year. So I'm excited. That I think that was one of the main things about that Thunder and Spurs matchup that I noticed. They're literally the same team. Um, it just who's gonna make their shots more? Because what I also saw was it was odd because both teams were taking difficult shots, but it ended up being because both teams have really solid defense. Maybe OKC can arguably have better defense as they are ranked higher defensively. However, with this Spurs team, I noticed their method was their method of defense was, hey, we're gonna give shooters space. It's like we obviously aren't gonna purposely let people shoot, but we have so much faith in our youth and our ability to recover at the shot and close out. Then we're gonna kind of cluster in the paint as much as we can and then run out to shooters. That's what it seemed like their defense was. They also switched a lot, just like the what OKC did. But I think what OKC and their matchup issue was they would switch and have Chet Holmgren guarding Harrison Barnes or Keldon Johnson, and they were cooking Chet. Like it was like they took that risk and letting Chet possibly cook them. But then you had Luke Cornett, who has great situational defense. He is great with rotating, and he's pretty solid defender overall. And he's been showing up. I think that was a great pickup for them, the Spurs, picking up Luke Cornett. We've seen great things with him on Boston. So when I was watching, they did not mind having that mismatch. It was a couple times where Hartenstein or Chet or Dort has good, decent defense, but they were even guarding Steven at one point, Steven Castle at one point. So I just really enjoy watching these two teams play. And if once the Spurs get a little more continuity, they're gonna look just like OKC, if not better. It's gonna be insane. Because we can argue, we all know Wemby's better than Chet. So that is my last about the Spurs versus the Thunder matchup. I appreciate everyone who's in the chat right now. Thanks for tuning in. Appreciate you. What's up? What's good? Welcome to the chat. Just remember, I'm Brianna, the host of the No Bull podcast. And if you know Bull, you know ball. So let's move on to this next topic. And it is about Angel Reese and how she did not win Player of the Year for the Chicago Sky, and how that left her fans outraged. And I wanted to talk more so about the current state of social media and basketball blended in together. Because me, as a first time really getting into the WNBA this season, when I mean getting into it, I paid for the league pass. I watched a lot of the games. I followed the news more than I ever had before this season. I even had my own comments and takes on Angel Reese, and her fans would attack me when I spoke anything about Angel Reese that wasn't short of praise. So when the Chicago Sky announced that Camila Cardoso as their Player of the Year, The basketball conversation immediately got hijacked with emotion. And quite frankly, I, as a fan of basketball, someone who can say Tyrese Maxey, yes, is my absolute favorite player, but here's my criticisms of him. That's what happens in basketball. So when we have these fans that I know they're not watching the game and they come on and they start saying like egregious comments about Angel should have got this, she should have got that, blah, blah, blah. It has nothing to do with Camilla, has nothing to do with them actually watching the game, but just everything to do with we got to stand up for this one player. Doesn't matter what. We got to go hard, even if it means crushing someone else who is a part of the same team as your favorite player, who did nothing but try to show up. That's on like so. Angel Reese, she has one of the loudest, most loyal fan bases in the league right now. But sometimes I think that loyalty overrides the fairness or even overrides just the sport in general. So both Angel Reese and Camila Cardosa are on rookie scale contracts. So they each have one, they got drafted the same time. They each have 1 year left in their contract. And so, and they've been considered foundational pieces for the Chicago's future. Now, we all know how that has gone the past 2 years that they've been there. Their records have been at the bottom. They've fallen short in this whole dream of the two skyscrapers, not just the women, but the organization and the team in general. They have fallen short to all expectations, and we have seen the Chicago Sky fans very upset about the current state of their team and the organization as a whole. All right. And but what I think they anticipated this backlash just based on what they dropped on social media and the post that they had for Camilla. Specifically, let me just pull it up now so y'all can see what I'm talking about. What is the first thing that stands out to you? Because the first thing that stood out to me was 40 games played. That was one of the stats that they included for player of the year. To me, that why would they include that? There's 42 total games in the regular season, and they included the stat of Camilla playing in 40 of them. And to me, that was them kind of preparing for what the fans were going to say about naming her as the player of the year. Because, again, they emphasized her consistency and it was shade, but it wasn't supposed to be intended. I think it was just so statistically, Angel had elite stretches with rebounding, physicality. You even saw her passing somewhat improve. And when I say somewhat improve, it wasn't like they were bailout passes. She was genuinely looking for that outside person and making a really good, smart play. But her season wasn't a smooth season, and she was impacted drastically by injury. She only played in 33 games. Now, I'm saying only because she did miss a good portion, but when she was there, her team was winning. There are stats that show when Angel's playing, their team wins. So I'm not denying that at all. However, Camila, she did anchor herself as an interior player and a playmaker for them. There was a lot of times that she made great passes that were like, damn, this is a big girl actually making some decent passes. And she had consistency with her field goal. She was way more consistent with her field goal percentage. Let me just go back to her stats real quick so we could just take a look. She had 13, what did I say? Oh, she averaged 13.6 points, 8.5 rebounds, and 1.2 blocks. She was the player of the game 15 times. She was the player of the week 6 times. And she was the player of the month 2 times for Chicago. So that has got her that spot. So what I'm going to do is pull up some of the comments from this Instagram post, because the picture I showed you was an Instagram post on the Chicago Sky page. And I want to show you what the fans have said in response to Camilla winning the player of the year. And we're talking fans who are alleged fans of the Chicago Sky team overall, but we all can see their Angels, like they're Angel fans. So let me just show you. This is the first example. Okay, first comment, and we're going to read this one together. First one says, I love Mila, talking about Camilla, but these people can't be serious. That was like the top like comment. Then someone says, and mind you, I just want to know the nature of these comments were mostly, I love Camilla, but it was, I think Camilla, this is cool, but it was always like, blah, blah, blah. Oh, okay, Camilla, but this person said, I absolutely love Camilla, but she literally has a teammate who was the only player in the entire WNBA who led her team in scoring, rebounding, and assists. So, respectfully, this is ridiculous and just more alienation of your franchise player. So, it's no longer skyscrapers, right? Because when they were both drafted, it was the skyscrapers are going to come and they're going to make it all better for us. No, the Angel's our franchise player, even though she did not play that many games, but she has carried us. She's been elite. But Camila is she cool, but she's not our franchise player. And because she's not our franchise player, she should not be player of the year. That was one of the fans' mindsets. Okay, let's go. Let's go back. Let's keep looking. Oh wait. Let's look at this next one. Let's see. This is what another fan said. The one said, I love Camila down, truly, but y'all can't be for real. Shaking my head. This is sad. No one is shading Camila, just leaning on the truth. Another fan said, one part skyscraper. I love this for Camila. Point blank, period. Just, I love this for Camila. And then someone else said, yeah, Mila, the inability for people to celebrate her is sad. A lot of it is about her being healthy the whole season. There are two phenomenal young talents on the team. Both grew so much last season. Giving love to one doesn't take away from the other. And that's the point I'm trying to make. That's the point. That's what I'm saying. What stood out to me is how the organization has shifted structurally. We know the controversy with Angel Reese and the comments that she made to this alleged reporter, allegedly, that got taken out of context, allegedly. And she's just been in the center of a lot of controversy that led to her not even getting suspended in a game because of the comments that she made about her teammates, and then not even really finishing the season with the team. So there was a lot of controversy surrounding Angel in this organization, in just some disagreements or frustrations that have lingered overall, which makes sense when there's high expectations and y'all are losing. Anybody would be frustrated. That makes a lot of sense. Like, that's not abnormal, right? But I don't think this is Angel being pushed out. I think we all know that Angel is no longer a good fit with the Sky. Doesn't have anything to do with her. What I'm saying is, if the when you're an organization like this, you have to think long term. You can't just think right now in the moment. What this showed me, them making her Camila Player of the Year, is that they're gonna probably build this team around Camila because they know Angel is out of there. So why, if you look at it from like a business perspective, from a basketball business perspective, for how do you think Camilla would feel? Even if they didn't win as much with Camilla, she still was an integral part of them at least having a chance while Angel was gone. Are we going to talk about that? The things that Camilla did to try to hold it down. Are we going to talk about that, or are we just going to ignore that, or does everything have to go to Angel for it to be considered fair? That's all I'm saying. Like, we do have two great talents, but if you can see them starting to shift, like, okay, maybe Angel, we already know she's not going to want to stay. It's clear Angel has a lot of pull. That's what I'm saying. The fans don't be thinking. They just be talking. Oh, it's so unfair. Angel probably's like, what if Angel's like, I don't want to be the player of the year for this organization. I don't even want to play here. You see what I'm saying? Like, who knows what's going to happen in this next year? But the Chicago Sky, they have about over $200,000 in cap space currently. This is prior to the current the CBA negotiations that are going down to maybe increase the cap space. But presently, with the current terms, or the terms that have been in the past, they have over $200,000 in cap space. So that means they could sign a rookie to a $200,000 contract. They have a lot of players that want out, like Ariel Atkins, Rachel Bent. Like, there's a lot of players that actually don't want to play there no more. So it's possible that they could be cooking up a trade. They just got a new assistant coach. And in their long-term plan for these next couple years to try to turn this around, especially Tyler Marsh, who I'm surprised wasn't fired, if they've already been having issues with Angel, then, and this is like off-court issues, then why would they make her the player of the year when you have this other player who probably doesn't mind being the next franchise player? Because if Angel leaves, who's going to be their franchise player? You like that's what I'm saying, y'all. Like, we gotta really think about this. They're not gonna trade both of their skyscrapers. They're probably gonna trade one who's the most valuable, who they could probably get a lot for. So in this rebuild for the Chicago Sky, is the Chicago Sky, is it Chicago Sky fans or is it Angel Reese fans that have a problem with this player of the year? And they just thinking about the biases that they have towards Angel Reese. They're not really thinking basketball and they're not really thinking business. But it's okay, they're fans. We're fans. Like they just talking. So I just wanted to discuss that and bring to light how I said, like, none of this makes Angel a villain, and none of this makes a pity party for Camilla. This is all optics. This is optics. This is business. We are showing y'all what direction we're going in. We want to see the reception. And of course, it's being overshadowed by Angel Reese, but the organization itself anticipated that. So once they push past all that, then maybe they could start building and rebuilding something. Because right now, the Chicago Sky are struggling. They've been struggling. Let me check the comments. Mr. Johnson FBA said, this is clearly the Sky organization trying to get the two ladies to turn against each other. I think it's the fans. I don't think that this organization was like, we're going to make Camilla the player of the year. Stick it to you, Angel. I don't think they're thinking like that. I think they're thinking just, we got to come up with a rebuild, and who are we going to rebuild around? Like, really think about it. Think about the NBA, when people are bringing different people. Why do you think they spent so much to get Luka to the Lakers? Because LeBron's not going to be there. And when has the Lakers not had a franchise player on their team? Since when does any team doesn't have a franchise? Anytime they do a rebuild, there's always that one person who's in the center. If they're shifting to rebuild, they're not going to get rid of both their skyscrapers. They would be fools to do that. So I think what the Sky are doing is, like, out of Angel and Camilla, it's not that we don't think that Camilla's better than Angel, but if we look at all the controversy Angel's had, her frustrations, our frustrations, it would probably behoove us to trade off Angel, because at least we'll get more value than trading off Camilla and keeping Angel with the Sky. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, it's business. They want their franchise player to possibly be Camilla. So they're gonna, if you look at the lottery, the Chicago Sky, I think they only, let me pull up the lottery so I'm speaking in complete facts, but I don't even think they have the 5th pick. Or they might be like number 5. They might have the 5th pick. Let me see. WNBA 2026 draft order. The Dallas Wings have the number 1. Then the Minnesota Lynx, the Minnesota Lynx got, the Chicago Sky had the number 2, but they traded that away to the Minnesota Lynx. The Chicago Sky have number 5 in the draft. So I'm thinking they're thinking in their minds, okay, maybe we can rebuild. We can have Vandersloot, an old head. Then we can have Camilla. She's been in the league a couple years. That's our big guy. Then we can still maybe keep Ariel, but Ariel might dip. Maybe we could keep Rachel Banham. I don't know. But they're going to have to make a lot of different moves and changes. They did not position themselves well with the picks. The best last hope they have is trading Angel, because she's going to bring a lot of value to them. This is like, it has nothing to do with being unfair. So if you're a true Chicago Sky fan, I think you should be excited and celebrate both ladies, because that's you. You're trying to support, you're going to support and ride or die with this organization. If you're an Angel fan, you're hating. I'm sorry. You're hating. You're hating on Camilla. That's weird. Like, look at the bigger picture. If you're a Camilla fan, then you just be excited for her. But I'm seeing all three play out. And I'm seeing some people who are Chicago Sky fans and Angel Reese fans, and they're still getting overshadowed by this Angel. Like, Angel's great, but you don't got to keep tearing down everybody else to make that point. And that's what they do. And I'm not a big fan about that, to be completely honest with y'all. So I wanted to just talk about that. Oh, damn. I had the wrong banner on there the whole time. That's okay. Angel Reese does not win Chicago Sky Player of the Year. Was this strictly optics? I think it was. This was about their future. This was about not trying to stick it to Angel. This was them saying, we need a franchise player. We're going to kind of start pouring into Camilla because that's what's we're foreshadowing what we're ready to do if this WNBA season even happens. It's a foreshadow of what they're planning to do. All right, checking the comments one last time. Mr. Johnson said Camilla doesn't want to play for the Sky either. Can you not see that? Camilla never interacted with the team much during the games. My comment to that is Camilla, the way she plays, I feel like she's always been like, she's always had this like nonchalant kind of play style to her. And I think when you're just on a losing team with so much bad press, and honestly, when you probably me as Camilla, if I'm looking at the comments when I win player of the year and I see people saying, oh, good for you, Camilla, but or Camilla, we love you, but I would want to like it's just, but hey, I'm not actually Camilla. I'm not actually a part of the Sky organization, but that's what I see happening right now. And so we'll see. We'll see, even if we even have a WNBA season this year. And keep following me or subscribe to keep track of what's happening with the WNBA and the CBA negotiations. But for now, we are going to move on to our final topic, which is fantasy basketball week 11, your must-adds to win your matchup. I always do this on Mondays. I put together my top 5 people that I think are sleepers. They might actually be on your waiver wire, and you should for sure grab them. Starting off with number 5, and these aren't in any particular order, but right now, they actually play tonight is the Atlanta Hawks and Zachary Reicher. Now, he has probably been picked up, but he hasn't had the most activity that he did last year. He probably produced a lot more fantasy for you last year than he did this year, but this week might be a great time to grab him because Trae Young is out, Jalen Johnson's out, and Kristaps Porzingis is out. So their top 3 players are out. And because Zachary has that ability to score and actually contribute to all different types or parts of the court, I do suggest that you go ahead and grab him. And especially maybe for tonight. He's had a decent week this last 7 days. He's averaged 10.7 points, 1.5 assists, and 2.9 rebounds. So consider grabbing him because he could add an extra 20 to 30 points to your fantasy lineup. So again, this is week 11. We are in week 11 for fantasy basketball, and I am telling you the top 5 must-adds that you should probably make if you want to win your matchup. Next, I suggest you pick up Diabate. Musa Diabate. He is the center or power forward / center for this Hornets team. And currently they are plagued with injuries as well. A lot of people are out for them, specifically their bigs. So let me just double check their so for Diabate, he's probably been scooped up for you. He's pretty high up there in his usage these past like half of this month, most of this month. He's been killing it. He can almost get you a double-double, and if the commissioner in your league set the points to have a double-double, give you an extra 10 points, extra 20 points, really consider picking up Diabate because he can almost produce that for you. He's averaging 8 points per game, 1.2 assists, and 8.1 rebounds. Notably, he's shooting 62.8% from the field. And again, make sure you check your commissioner and how you earn points or even how you lose points, because some will subtract 1 if you if your player misses a shot. So him shooting 62% is for sure helpful. That type of efficiency will just score you a lot more points. And if you're in a points league on ESPN, Diabate can get you 40 fantasy points, and that's actually solid. That's not bad. And if he's in a categories league, he's definitely getting you between 40 to 50 fantasy points, if not more. Okay, next on the docket, are we good on time? Okay, yeah, we're good on time. Next person, so again, either pick up Zachary Reicher for the Hawks. They play tonight. You could pick up Diabate on the Hornets, or you could pick up Cam Spencer on the Grizzlies if someone hasn't already snatched them up. because I snatched him up last week, or was it last week or the week before last? I didn't do last week. The week before last, I suggested you pick up Pat Spencer, who's on the Golden State Warriors. Now I'm saying be sure to grab his brother Cam, because boy is he hooping. He's a shooting guard slash point guard for the Grizzlies, and we already know they're struggling with a lot of injuries right now. Even Caldwell Pope, I think, was questionable for today, but he's averaging 13 points, 8.3 assists. And we know assists are huge money makers in fantasy basketball. He's averaging 4 rebounds, and he's played 30 minutes in the last average 30 minutes in the last 7 days. And he's, for the season, has averaged at least 33 minutes. He's getting a lot of burn. I'm saying pick up Cam Spencer, and he had his historic 51-point game. I'm just saying, like, listen, don't sleep on them. Don't sleep on the Spencer brothers, period. Okay, next is going to be this team. Y'all saw how I feel about Scotty Barnes. Now, RJ Barrett just came back, but however, he was marked as out for tonight. And again, they also play tonight. There's a lot of teams playing tonight, but if you're contemplating who to pick up from your waiver wire, Jakob Poeltl is also out for this Raptors team. So they're struggling with height. They've already been struggling with height. They don't have too many big men. Like when Poeltl's out, sometimes you see Scotty Barnes shift to the 5. But I say go ahead and grab Sandro, because Sandro is their power forward, but this boy can shoot. He averages 11 points per game, 2.3 assists, and 7 rebounds. And in this last 7 days, he's averaged 25 minutes. So they've been playing him. And since RJ Barrett has been out for a while, he came back for 1 game, and now he's out again. I'm pretty sure this first man, he's like first off the bench. They're going to utilize him. If not, maybe push him to the starting lineup since Jakob Poeltl is out. And because he averages at least 2.3 threes. He's going to shoot the threes, and he's going to make the threes. So I really, really highly encourage you, if nobody's picked him up yet, go ahead and pick him up, because he could have a decent game tonight and get a lot of usage. And finally, number 1. Now, again, just because I went from 5 to 1 doesn't mean I think like Sandro is a better player than Cam Spencer. That is not what I'm saying. I'm just saying, like, these are, for me, like the top sleepers. Did I do this in the right order? Oh, God. Okay, wait, no. Cam Spencer was my number 1. I'm tripping. But anyway, number 2 is Jalen Tyson. Okay, he plays for the Cavs. Now, last year, he was he's a rookie. My fault. He's a rookie, but he's already recorded, or no, he's a second year. Or no, this is his first season. I gotta check. But he's already recorded 4 double-doubles this season. He's averaging 14.3 points, 1.5 assists, 7 rebounds in 23 minutes of play. I need y'all to pay attention to that. In 23 minutes, he's doing that much. His point is going to be crazy. Now, I was looking at the injury report for the Cavs, and I do believe that I don't think Donovan Mitchell is playing tonight. Let me just double check, because things change and things are always changing. But when I was looking at the injury report, and I also was looking at the Cleveland Cavaliers, it seems like they are still kind of figuring themselves out. So they do, what I've noticed, they have been definitely trying different lineups. Maybe on not like huge games, but when there's guys that are out and they're not playing, then you see them trying a lot of different things. Also, no, everyone's playing. There's nobody crazy out that hasn't already been out. So everyone's playing tonight, but I do think that this would be a good grab for you. It's a sleeper grab. So let me just run back through. This is Fantasy Basketball Week 11, and these are your must-adds to win your matchup for this week. All right. Again, plagued with injuries, this Atlanta Hawks team is definitely probably going to lean on Zachary Reicher. He has shown up for them in the past, and I don't see it changing this time around. If you need a center or a power forward, lean on Diabate. His team has been leaning on him bad, as this Hornets team has the most injuries from with everybody. Aside from the Grizzlies, this Hornets team is pretty plagued right now. Hold on, let me a huge reason Mason Plumlee's out. He's one of their bigs. Kalkbrenner, he's out. Ryan Kalkbrenner. I think I'm saying his name wrong, but he has an elbow injury, so he's not going to play either. And then they have Con Knipples out, and I just think they already have a ton of guards. So what are they going to do when they're guard heavy? They're going to lean on Diabate. All right. So I definitely suggest go ahead and grab Diabate. Next on the list, go ahead and pick up Sandro because the Raptors too are struggling with injuries and they're struggling with height. This guy brings you height, but he has the ability to score, namely from the three. And again, in points for fantasy, scoring threes gives you extra points. He's great value. He's a sleeper. Pick him up. Next, Jalon Tyson for the Cleveland Cavaliers. Again, he's already had 4 double-doubles this season. Insane. And then finally, go ahead and grab Cam Spencer, who has been dominating. If you don't have one of the Spencer brothers on your team, Pat Spencer from Golden State or Cam Spencer from the Grizzlies, what are you doing? What the heck are you doing? Go ahead and pick up one of them. Consider it. Consider a trade. I think they're going to be useful for the rest of this year. But yeah, that is my must adds to win your fantasy basketball team. Currently, I'm in 2 different fantasy leagues. I'm number 1 overall. I am 10-0, undefeated in one of the leagues, and then in the other league, I'm 6-4. I'm struggling. However, I'm still number 2 overall, so I ain't down that bad. I'm still number 1 in my division, so I'm doing something right, but I got a lot of injuries. But that's no excuse. But take it from me, I'm a 2-time fantasy basketball championship, and I want to help you. I am not going to gatekeep. Help you win your championship. So I'm just going to check the comments, see if anyone has any thoughts. Oh, this is nice. Thank you. Very kind of you to say. So I really appreciate y'all. It's been a great show. I was talking, I think my favorite, I just got a notification, y'all. I just got paid. Hold on. Love that. But I think overall today, my favorite topic was the Angel Reese topic because the WNBA basketball has earned like a special place in my heart. I truly enjoyed that season. I know NBA, we're currently in NBA, but the WNBA is, there's still so much things ongoing. So make sure you're still tuning into the WNBA and really, since people like to talk so much online, go ahead and talk more about how these women need to get paid more. And check out one of my previous streams, how I talk and go into detail about the current CBA negotiations, and maybe I can help you like learn a little bit more about what's going on, and hopefully you could develop your own perspective and input as well. So I have appreciated y'all. I'm on a road to 700 subscribers. I'm like I don't know how far I am away. I'm almost there. And if you would like to support my channel, this is just a hobby for me, but I do pay for Canva because I have to like make the thumbnails and stuff like that. So I do a monthly subscription to that. And there's some other little things that I have to pay for, but it's okay. But if you like to support my channel, I would appreciate it. I put my Cash App there. But my biggest support and appreciation is when you drop your takes. Even if you don't agree with me, I still love to talk basketball with y'all. So please, please, please like, comment, subscribe, and thank you so much. Again, I love basketball, and if you know bull, you know ball. All right, y'all. Take care.